Before we show you the app, we want to just give you a little bit of background on what our app is supposed to do. So the technical problem is that we want to support users to create arbitrary contracts backed by the blockchain without any coding by the user. So the user doesn't have to learn Solidity, doesn't have to know how to deploy smart contracts. And the type of contracts we want to support is things like crowdfunding, like Kickstarter, or safe remote purchase, if you're familiar with that logic. So I want to show you an example of how we can do safe remote purchase with our app. Say Alice and Bob are creating a contract where Alice is trying to buy an item from Bob. So the logic goes like this. Alice must deposit 2 times the price of the item in the smart contract, and Bob must do the same. And once Alice confirms that she's received the item from Bob, then we want the contractor to deposit 1 time the price of the funds back into Alice and 3 times the price of the items back into Bob's account. The first thing you can do is set a contract name. So let's just call it Alice and Bob. So what we can do here is you can see how we start with the first statement, statement 0. What we can do is add a condition. So recall that we want to make sure that Alice paid 2 times the price of the item into the contract. So let's say the price of the item is 1 ETH. We want to make sure that user balance is greater than or equal to 2. That's 2 times 1. Let's make sure we are on Alice's account so we can see that we're on the Ropsten test network. And let's copy Alice's address right here. And we want to do the same for Bob. And that's the initial set of conditions. And we want to make sure that once these conditions are satisfied, we want to jump to the next statement. So all we do is select jump. And here we have statement 1. And in this case, we want to make sure that Alice confirms that she received the goods. So if user confirmation and address arguments, we want to make sure it's Alice's address. If this is the case, then we want to pay users. So we want to pay Alice back 1 ETH, and we want also pay back Bob 3 times the price of item, which is 3 ETH. So for this particular contract, we didn't really use the else clause here, but for other types of logic, maybe for like crowdfunding, for example, then we would actually make use of it, and we will actually make use of multiple statements as well. So right now, all we have to do is click create contract right here. And in this case, let's say Bob is the one that's creating the contract, so he'll be the one paying gas fees for the creation of this contract. Just confirm. We can open the app in a new tab. Let's go to blocktext.heroku. And remember that what we need to do now is have Alice pay the contract 20 or 2 ETH and have Bob do the same. So what we do is enter the same name to identify the contract. And now we can fund the contract right here. So let's pay 1 ETH. And right now we are paying as Bob. Let's make Bob do that. Sorry, Bob needs to pay 2 ETH. And we will need to do the same thing as Alice. So after this step, what we need to do is progress the contract. So for it to execute the current statement, and we'll contract name, and then press progress. Let's pretend that Alice already received the item from Bob, and then just press confirm. If we progress the contract again, so execute statement 2 or statement 1, then we should have the funds 3 ETH deposited into Bob's account and 1 ETH deposited back into Alice's account. Let's see that happen in action. All right, as you can see, Alice has approximately 2 ETH, and Bob has 3 ETH now. And that's exactly what we expected. The thing I want to emphasize here is that safe remote purchase is not the only thing that's supported on our app. So our aim was to make this tool as general as possible and be able to support all types of users, from community organizers trying to organize a ski trip, and basically just democratize smart contracts for everyone, make it easy to use, easy to create.